Do you know that just one wrong item placed on your shoe cabinet can quietly drain your money and silently bring illness to your entire family without you even realizing it? Hello, and welcome to Feng Shui Keys, the place where you will find the Feng Shui secrets that unlock wealth and keep bad luck far away. In Feng Shui, the shoe cabinet is considered the entry point of energy for the entire home. It is where all the energy from the outside world is first received and filtered before spreading throughout your living space. Every pair of shoes carries traces of the environment, pressure, and energy field from the outside. That makes the shoe cabinet a very sensitive transfer station between good energy and bad energy. If this area is kept neat, clean, and contains the right objects, the energy flow will be balanced, making it easier for wealth and health to circulate through your home. On the other hand, if the shoe cabinet is cluttered or holds the wrong items, bad energy will get trapped and gradually spread throughout your house. This disrupts the flow of energy and directly affects the financial luck, emotional well-being, and physical health of your family members. That is why, in today's video, we are going to take a closer look at the objects you should absolutely never place in your shoe cabinet if you want to avoid losing money, disturbing the flow of energy, and attracting bad luck into your home. And before we begin, go ahead and leave a comment below with a powerful, positive affirmation to activate good energy and open the flow of wealth for yourself right now. I take care of every little corner in my home so that health and wealth are always drawn to my family. And do not forget to subscribe to Feng Shui Keys right now so you never miss out on important Feng Shui keys that help your family protect its fortune and live with more peace of mind every single day. So, what are the items you should absolutely never place on your shoe cabinet? Because they could quietly attract bad luck and cause your family's money to slowly slip away? Let's find out right now, so you can make timely changes before these negative effects start to build up and have a long-term impact on your life. Item number 1, money or wallets. The first thing you should never place on your shoe cabinet is money, wallets, or anything directly related to your finances. This might sound strange at first, because many people think money is money, no matter where you keep it, as long as you do not lose it. But in modern Feng Shui, money is not just a physical object. It also carries energy tied to value, opportunity, and flow. Meanwhile, the shoe cabinet is considered to have the lowest energy level in the house. Shoes bring back dust, fatigue, and pressure from the outside world. When money is placed in this space, its energy gets dragged down and loses its flow. This does not mean you will lose money immediately, but over time, you may feel like money comes in and then goes right out. It becomes hard to save, hard to hold on to, and you might always feel slightly short on cash, even when you are working hard. What makes this worse is how quietly it happens. Many people never realize the connection. They just feel like their finances are unstable, unexpected expenses keep popping up, or they are always scraping by no matter how much they earn. This is not simply bad luck. It comes from how you treat the energy of money in your living space. When money is kept in a place that is low, dark, closed off, and surrounded by dirty energy, your subconscious begins to absorb the message that money is only meant to be spent, not saved. On the other hand, when money is placed somewhere clean, elevated, well-lit, and respected, your brain starts to naturally develop better habits. You become more mindful in managing your money, and you make wiser choices when it comes to spending and investing. Feng Shui is not about superstition. It is about the interaction between your living environment and your behavior. So, if you are currently keeping your wallet, cash, or even a small safe in your shoe cabinet, take that as a clear sign that it is time to make a change. Do not panic or stress out. Just move your money to a better spot. Choose a clean, quiet place in your home where money feels valued. This simple act can shift how you think about and use your finances. When money is in the right place, energy flows more smoothly, your mindset becomes more stable, and your financial decisions get smarter. That is the solid foundation you need, not just to attract wealth, but to help it stay with you in the long run. Item number 2. Candy or food. The second item you should not put on your shoe cabinet is food, whether that is candy, snacks, or anything else meant to go into your body. Some people do it out of convenience, lack of space, or simply think, it is just temporary. What harm could it do? But from the perspective of energy and hygiene, this is actually a very harmful mix. The shoe cabinet is where outside energy returns to the home, including dust, bacteria, sweat, and the exhaustion of the day. Even if the food is wrapped up, it still absorbs the energy of its surroundings. Food is supposed to carry nourishing energy, but when placed in the wrong environment, that energy becomes polluted. Instead of feeding your body, it becomes a burden. This negative effect does not hit all at once. It builds up slowly and quietly. People in the house might start to feel that meals are less satisfying, feel tired more often, or deal with minor health issues that just seem to linger. Psychologically, when your subconscious knows that food is being stored in an unclean area, your sense of safety around that food decreases, and your body responds, even if your logical mind dismisses it. In modern Feng Shui, health and wealth are closely connected. When the body is weak, work energy drops, focus suffers, and you are less likely to seize opportunities. So placing food in the shoe cabinet is not just a hygiene issue. It is a direct threat to your household's prosperity. The solution is simple, but needs to be done with intention. Store your food in places that represent nourishment, like the kitchen, pantry, or other clean spaces. Once you move the food out of the shoe cabinet, clean that area thoroughly to cut off the old energy link. When the shoe cabinet is used only for its proper purpose, your home's energy becomes more balanced. There is a place to receive energy, a place to nourish, and a place to rest. Each area does its job, and that clarity makes the whole space feel lighter. Your body recovers more easily, and your mind feels more stable. When your health is supported, even through small changes like this, your wealth has a much stronger foundation to grow over time. Item number 3. Medicine. The third item you should not place on your shoe cabinet is medicine or medical supplies. At first, this might seem reasonable. After all, many people think keeping medicine near the door makes it easy to grab in an emergency. But that kind of convenience turns the shoe cabinet into a place that constantly reminds you of sickness and instability. Instead of feeling like you are coming home, the first thing you see is a subtle warning: pills, illness, and things to worry about. Your home, meant to offer relaxation, gets wrapped in a low, ongoing layer of tension. From a daily rhythm point of view, this setup makes it harder for your body to truly rest. The shoe cabinet is meant to be a transition zone, where you shift from the outside world to your private space. But when medicine is sitting there, that boundary gets blurred. Your body never really gets to cool down after a long day. It is already being reminded to be on guard, to manage, to prepare. Over time, this weakens your sense of safety at home. You may not even realize it, but you start to live in a low-key state of tension, unable to fully relax. Putting medicine in its proper place is not about ignoring illness. It is about restoring your home's real purpose. Medicine should be stored somewhere quiet, away from the entrances, a place that represents care and healing, not warning and stress. When medicine is removed from the shoe cabinet, that space returns to its true role, welcoming energy, filtering it, and sending out the bad. This small shift makes a big difference. Walking into your home feels lighter. Your mind can unwind more easily, and your body gets a better chance to recover every day. That is the kind of foundation real health is built on, not just from taking more medicine. Item number 4. Mirrors. The shoe cabinet plays an important role in guiding movement within the house. A mirror, on the other hand, redirects attention. When we enter or leave the house, we need a clear and focused path. That is exactly why the shoe cabinet is placed near the entryway, to support smooth and decisive movement. But when a mirror is added to the shoe cabinet, that flow gets disrupted. Instead of looking ahead, our gaze is pulled back toward ourselves. The space no longer guides movement. It becomes a spot that distracts us from the very first moment. This kind of imbalance may not cause immediate problems, but it subtly breaks the natural flow of the space. A shoe cabinet is meant for quick actions, putting shoes away, grabbing shoes, closing the cabinet, and heading out. Mirrors, on the other hand, require us to pause, check ourselves, and make adjustments. When these two opposing functions share the same space, the clarity of purpose disappears. The person using the space becomes unsure. Do I move forward, or do I stop? Over time, the space starts to feel chaotic, not because it is messy, but because it no longer speaks clearly about its role. Removing the mirror from the shoe cabinet is not about getting rid of something useful. It is about restoring order. A mirror works best when placed in areas that naturally allow for pausing and adjusting. As for the shoe cabinet, when it is free from conflicting roles, it can serve its true purpose, guiding you into the home when you enter and helping you leave when you step out. This clarity creates a smooth flow of movement, making the space more efficient and your daily routine more seamless. In this case, Feng Shui is not about superstition. It is about making sure each item is placed where it belongs, so that your space does not carry roles that contradict its own function. Item number 5. Electronic devices. The top of a shoe cabinet is a very specific space. It is right at eye level, at the main entrance, and it is the first area that greets you when you return home. From a design perspective, this space needs to be simple, light, and clear to create a sense of "I am home." However, when electronic devices like phones, tablets, chargers, headphones, Wi-Fi routers, or smart watches are placed there, that space loses its original role. These gadgets are strongly associated with work, constant communication, and endless updates. This turns your entryway from a calm transition space into a reminder of all the things left unfinished. As a result, the feeling of truly arriving home becomes incomplete, even if you are not consciously aware of it. From an organizational standpoint, electronics on top of the shoe cabinet create a frustrating overlap of functions. The lower part of the cabinet already serves as storage, which adds visual weight, when the top is also stacked with complicated shapes, small parts, and tangled cords. The entire area becomes visually overwhelming. Even if you clean often, electronic items naturally make a space look cluttered. Over time, the entrance begins to feel less like a place to arrive and more like a dumping ground for things you have not yet dealt with. Another issue that often gets overlooked is that electronics carry a sense of unfinished use. Cables being plugged and unplugged, devices left mid-charge, forgotten earbuds, a phone you keep picking up and putting down. All these little actions turn the shoe cabinet into a place filled with incomplete tasks. The entrance, which should feel clear and decisive, walk in, walk out, ends up feeling stuck in between. This leads to a subtle habit, leaving things on the shoe cabinet for now. That habit makes the space harder and harder to keep clean, even if you are not someone who usually lives in a messy way. When you move electronics away from the shoe cabinet and back to their proper spaces, the change is immediate. The surface becomes lighter, more breathable, and visually easier to manage. Each time you walk through the door, your attention is no longer pulled toward gadgets waiting to be charged or sorted. Instead, your eyes move smoothly into your home. This small adjustment does not require a big renovation, but it helps restore the entrance to what it should be, a clear, welcoming transition. When the starting point of your home is in order, the entire space feels calmer and more organized over time. Now that you know what not to place on your shoe cabinet and how to fix those issues, the next step is to activate the space using the right items. This will help your entrance become more balanced and orderly, and that invites good fortune and smooth energy into your home and life. First item, scented sachets. Scented sachets are a perfect way to activate positive energy in your shoe cabinet. They send a clear message that this part of your home has been cared for and intentionally managed, instead of being left to slowly collect stuffy smells and clutter. When you open the cabinet, you are no longer met with a mix of street odors and humidity, but a soft, fresh scent that feels clean and deliberate. This may sound like a small change, but it strongly affects how you feel. Your entryway becomes more polished, your home feels more put together, and your mindset automatically shifts into a more relaxed state every time you return. What makes a scented sachet effective is not that it hides bad smells. It is that it creates a consistent, base scent that keeps the space from sliding back into old energy. The shoe cabinet is an enclosed space, prone to moisture and lingering odors, especially during rainy seasons or after heavy use. A well-placed sachet helps freshen the air naturally, making the area feel lighter and cleaner. When your entrance feels pleasant, you are more likely to take better care of it, putting shoes away neatly, cleaning more often. And this is what really nurtures luck in a practical way. A tidy home leads to a tidy mind, and that makes everything flow more smoothly. To make the most of your sachet, it is important to choose the right scent and place it properly. Look for fragrances that are gentle, not overpowering. The lighter the scent, the longer it lasts, and the more pleasant it feels over time. Place the sachet in a dry corner of the cabinet, away from damp shoes, especially those just worn in the rain. And make sure the sachet is not crushed or hidden among other items, so the scent can circulate freely. When the scent fades, replace or refresh the sachet to maintain that clean signal at your doorway. If you do this regularly, your shoe cabinet will no longer be something you avoid opening. It will become the place that starts each day with a sense of calm and order. Item number 2, activated charcoal. Activated charcoal is not used to enhance the look of your shoe cabinet. It is used because of its powerful ability to handle hidden issues that are hard to notice with the naked eye. The shoe cabinet is typically closed, has limited light, and is sealed after each use. This makes it a space where moisture and stagnant air can easily build up. These conditions might not bother you right away, but over time, they strip your entryway of the dry, clean feeling it should naturally have. When you place activated charcoal inside the shoe cabinet, you are adding a quiet but effective layer of protection. It helps maintain a stable environment inside, preventing trapped air and humidity from accumulating over time. Unlike items that create scent or offer instant effects, activated charcoal works over the long term to keep balance. You might not feel the change immediately, but it keeps the air inside the cabinet from becoming heavy or stale. And when the air stays dry and clean, opening the cabinet every day becomes a more pleasant experience. You will no longer hesitate to open it or feel the need to deal with odors. This small but consistent comfort helps keep your entryway under control, and a space that is easy to manage leads to smoother daily routines. It also prevents the sense of mess from slowly building up over time. To make activated charcoal work properly, placement needs to be simple and clear. Put it in a breathable pouch or ventilated box. Place it in a dry corner of the cabinet, and avoid contact with wet shoes. You do not need to use a lot, just enough to help air circulate naturally. After a while, you can dry the charcoal in the sun and reuse it, maintaining its effect without much effort. When your shoe cabinet stays dry and balanced, the entryway becomes a lighter, more supportive part of your home, one that helps your whole household flow more smoothly. Item number 3. A floor mat. A floor mat placed near the shoe cabinet acts as a transition pad between the outside world and the inside of your home. When you return from outside, your shoes carry dirt, moisture, and traces of the outside environment. Without a proper stopping point, all of these elements follow you deeper into your living space. The mat creates a clear boundary. This is the place to stop, clean up, and get organized before moving on. That boundary makes your entryway feel more orderly and prevents the outside world from spilling into your home randomly. But it is not just about cleanliness. The mat also helps shape better habits. When a mat is in place, people naturally slow down for a moment. They wipe their shoes, take them off more neatly, and take a second to look around before moving further inside. This brief pause might seem small, but it resets the rhythm of your day. Instead of rushing in and kicking your shoes aside, the mat offers a needed moment of pause. Because of that, the shoe cabinet becomes less chaotic and more manageable. A home with clear transition zones runs more smoothly overall. When your entryway is clean, organized, and has a clear routine, the rest of the home is less likely to be affected by spreading mess. On the flip side, without a mat, dirt and moisture easily get carried through the house, making the entire space feel less clean. And it becomes harder to pinpoint exactly why. Eventually, cleaning feels like a bigger chore, and the home loses its sense of ease. In this case, a floor mat is not just decoration. It is a practical tool that acts as the first filter, helping reduce stress on the rest of your space. For the mat to do its job properly, you need to choose and use it wisely. It should be large enough for you to stand comfortably while changing shoes, made from easy-to-clean material, and not too thick so it does not get in the way. Pick neutral colors that feel clean and calming, and avoid busy patterns that might make the space feel visually cluttered. Most importantly, make sure to wash or clean the mat regularly so it can continue catching and holding the dirt it is meant to block. When the mat is well cared for, the shoe cabinet area stays neat and balanced over time. Then, stepping into your home becomes more pleasant, your routine becomes smoother, and your entire day flows more naturally. When the shoe cabinet area is organized properly, with clutter removed and the right elements added, your entryway starts to feel balanced again. The change may be subtle, but you will notice it every time you walk through the door. Things feel more in order, more pleasant, and no longer as cramped or chaotic as before. These small adjustments at the very beginning of your space can create lasting improvements throughout your entire home. And what is important to remember is that these Feng Shui principles are not based on blind belief. They are grounded in the way we interact with our surroundings. When a high-use area like the shoe cabinet is kept clean, breathable, and clearly structured, the pressure of maintaining your home decreases. Your daily life becomes lighter. The space around you begins to support you instead of adding invisible stress to your routine and your family. And before you go, take a moment to leave a positive affirmation in the comments below. I organize my living space with intention so that luck and opportunities constantly find their way into my home. And do not forget to subscribe to Feng Shui Keys to keep discovering simple yet effective ways to arrange your space, helping your home stay tidy, your life feel smoother, and every return feel more peaceful.